Hello, and welcome back to the English Circle, the podcast. I'm Emily.
And I'm Alex. Today, we're talking about something that goes beyond language learning. It's about making real friends. You've had plenty of English exchange partners. You meet, you practice, you ask, where are you from and what do you do? But somehow, the conversation never goes deeper. You stay in the shallow end.
It's so common. You have 20 language partners, but no real friends. You can talk about the weather and your job, but you never get to the good stuff. The fears, the dreams, the funny stories, the vulnerable moments. Yes, I have so many people I can practice grammar with, but very few I can call when I'm having a bad day. I want real friendship, not just language practice disguised as friendship. Today, we're going to give you the tools to move conversations from surface to substance. You'll learn how to ask deeper questions, share about yourself, recognize when someone is open to connection, and build trust over time. Because real friendship is the best motivation to learn a language. Let's learn to connect, not just converse. Alex, let's start with why so many language exchange friendships never progress. What's the barrier? Fear? We're both using a second language, so we stick to safe, simple topics. We're afraid of making mistakes when talking about emotions or complex ideas, and we're not sure if the other person wants to go deeper. Exactly. Both people are waiting for permission to be real, but someone has to go first. Today, you'll learn to be that person. To build real friendships, use the D.E.E.P.E.R framework. It's a guide for deepening any conversation.
Deeper? Exactly where I want to go.
D, dare to share first. Model vulnerability. Share something real about yourself. E, engage with curiosity. Ask questions that can't be answered with one word. E, explore common ground. Find shared interests, values, or experiences. P, pivot from facts to feelings. Move from what to how to why. E, embrace silence and pauses. Real connection often happens in the quiet moments. R, return and remember. Follow up on what they told you last time.
This is a roadmap to real connection.
Let's break it down. The biggest barrier to deep friendship is that no one wants to go first. You're both waiting for the other person to be vulnerable.
So, I have to take the risk?
Yes, but start small. You don't need to share your deepest trauma. Just share something real. Surface conversation? How was your weekend? Good, thanks. Yours? Deeper? Sharing first? My weekend was actually a bit tough. I was feeling lonely, but I went for a walk and that helped. How about you? Other examples of sharing first? I've been nervous about a presentation I have tomorrow. I'm really excited about a new hobby I started. It's given me so much joy. I'm struggling with balancing work and rest lately.
Sharing first gives the other person permission to be real too.
Second, ask questions that can't be answered with one word. Avoid closed questions.
Like, do you like your job? Versus, what do you enjoy about your job?
Exactly. Here are deeper question openers. Instead of, what do you do? What drew you to your field? What's the most rewarding part of your work? Instead of, where are you from? What's something you miss about your hometown? How has where you grew up shaped who you are? Instead of, do you have hobbies? What activity makes you lose track of time? What's something you loved doing as a child that you still enjoy? Third, actively look for what you have in common. Shared experiences build bonds.
What if we're from completely different backgrounds?
Common ground isn't just where you're from or your job. It's values, struggles, hopes, and everyday experiences. Examples. You mentioned feeling lonely when you first moved here. I felt that too. How did you cope? You love hiking? Me too. What's the best trail you found? You're also trying to learn a new language? It's so hard, right? How do you stay motivated?
When I find common ground, the conversation feels easier.
This is the most important move. Go from what to why to how do you feel?
Give me an example.
Surface, facts only. I moved here 2 years ago. Deeper, add feelings. I moved here 2 years ago. It was really hard at first. I felt lost and lonely, but now I'm starting to feel at home. Pivot questions. How did that make you feel? What was that experience like for you emotionally? What did you learn about yourself from that? Facts tell, but feelings connect. Real friendship often grows in the quiet moments. Don't be afraid of pauses.
But silence is so uncomfortable.
Only when you're trying to fill it. When you're truly connecting, silence can be comfortable. It means you don't need constant chatter. What to do in silence? Take a breath. Let the other person think. Show you're present with a nod or a smile. Sometimes say, I'm just taking that in.
Silence can mean we're both thinking deeply, not that the conversation died.
Finally, follow up. Next time you see them, remember what they told you.
This is where most people fail.
Yes, but it's the simplest way to show you care. Examples. Last time you mentioned you were nervous about that presentation. How did it go? You said your mom wasn't feeling well. Is she doing better? I remembered you loved jazz. I found this concert. Want to go together?
When someone remembers something I said, I feel seen.
Let's practice a conversation with a language exchange partner you've met a few times.
Okay.
Alex, we've been doing these exchanges for a while, and I realized I don't actually know much about you beyond work and where you're from. Is it okay if I ask you something a bit more personal?
Sure.
What's something that's been on your mind lately? Outside of work.
Honestly, I've been thinking about whether I should go back to school. I feel stuck in my career.
Wow, that's a big question. I felt that way too. Like I'm not sure what's next. What's making you consider going back?
I want to do something more meaningful.
I hear you. How does that feel? Are you excited or scared or both? Provides more deeply. Listens, nods, pauses comfortably. I'd love to hear more about this next time. Also, I remembered you said you were trying to learn guitar. How's that going? That's a real conversation, not just practice. Now, someone you see at work, but only talk about projects with.
Alex. Hey, we've worked together for months, and I feel like I only know you as the person who does reports. Can I ask you something random? Colleague, sure. Alex, what do you do outside work that makes you happy? Colleague, I volunteer at an animal shelter. It's my escape. That's beautiful. I've always wanted to do something like that, but never made the time. How did you get into it? I was lonely after my move, and animals are easier than people. I totally get that. Was the move hard for you? Yeah, actually. I still miss my friends back home. I know that feeling. It took me a year to really settle. What do you miss most? Colleague shares. Thanks for sharing that. Honestly, it makes me feel less alone. Would you want to grab coffee sometime? Not work coffee, just coffee.
You're inviting friendship, not just another meeting. Not everyone wants to go deep. Here's how to tell if they're open. Green flags. They want connection. They ask you questions back. They share something slightly vulnerable. They remember things you said. They make time for you. They laugh and make eye contact. Red flags. Keep it light. One-word answers. Never asks about you. Changes the subject when you share something real. Always on their phone. Cancels plans frequently.
If they're not open, don't take it personally. They may just not be looking for friendship right now.
Real friendship doesn't happen in one conversation. It's built over time. Here's a realistic timeline. Conversation 1. Surface to mild depth. Share a small vulnerability. Feeling tired, nervous about something. Ask a slightly deeper question. Find one common interest. Conversation 2. More depth. Follow up on what they shared before. Share something more personal. A fear, a dream, a past struggle. Suggest a casual hangout. Coffee, walk. Conversation 3. Testing trust. Share something you wouldn't tell everyone. Ask for advice on something real. Make concrete plans to do something together.
Friendship is a slow dance, not a sprint. Let's look at common mistakes. Mistake 1. Treating every conversation like an interview. Too many questions, no sharing about yourself. Balance questions with your own stories. Mistake 2. Oversharing too early. Trauma dumping before trust is built. Share small vulnerabilities first. Build up. Mistake 3. Never initiating. Always waiting for them to reach out. Be the one to say, "Let's get coffee." Mistake 4. Not following up. Having a great conversation, then never mentioning it again. Last time you said, "How's that going?" Mistake 5. Expecting instant best friends. Friendship takes time and repeated interactions. Be patient. Consistency matters.
Real friendship is like growing a plant. You can't water it once and expect it to bloom.
Let's build your friendship vocabulary toolkit. Initiating deeper conversation. Can I ask you something a bit more personal? I'd love to know more about what you're like outside of work. You seem like someone I could be real with. Sharing about yourself. I don't usually share this, but something I've been struggling with lately is I've been really excited about. Asking deeper questions. What's something that made you feel alive recently? Who's someone who influenced who you are today? What's a fear you've overcome? Following up. Last time you mentioned, I thought about what you said about how are things with
You seem like someone I could be real with is magic. It invites honesty. Let's recap the D.E.P.E.R framework. D. Dare to share first. Model vulnerability. E. Engage with curiosity. Ask open questions. E. Explore common ground. Find shared experiences. P. Pivot from facts to feelings. How did that feel? E. Embrace silence and pauses. Don't fear the quiet. R. Return and remember. Follow up.
And your friendship challenge is this. This week, take one language exchange or work friendship and try to go one layer deeper. Use one of the D.E.P.E.R strategies. Share something real. Ask a feeling question. Follow up on something from last time. Notice how they respond. One small step can open the door to a real friendship. Alex, what's one deeper question you're going to ask someone this week? What's something that's been on your mind lately, outside of work? It's open, caring, and invites real sharing.
beautiful? Listeners, now it's your turn. In the comments, share a time when a conversation moved from surface to substance for you. What happened? What question did someone ask? How did it feel? Let's learn from each other's friendship stories. If this episode inspires you to go deeper, share it with a friend you'd like to know better.
Subscribe to the English Circle, the podcast, for more episodes that help you connect, not just communicate.
Remember, everyone is waiting for someone to go first. Be that someone. Dare to be real. Connect deeply, and we'll see you next time.